A revolution in mobile technology.
I don't think anybody knew at the start how big it could be.
They're quick.
You go to an app store, you press download, and it's sitting there.
They're helpful.
It's also like I have a third arm that's incredibly brilliant.
And they're here to stay.
The plan for us is to launch 1,000 apps over the next 2 years.
Scene one, take one.
Apps, you gotta love them. Maybe they're even a little addictive. In fact, they've become tools of life for many of us. People talk about their apps like a hit TV show or their favorite sports team. Welcome to Planet of the Apps, a handheld revolution. I'm Scott Wapner. To say apps are a phenomenon is putting it mildly. There are more than 100,000 apps available. And as you'll see, they do just about everything. And studies estimate the store takes in about $200 million every month. New competitors are breaking ground and making inroads. During this hour, we'll look at how apps are changing our lives, meet some of the creators who are striking it rich, and show just how the big business of apps really works.
Everyone is talking apps these days.
Facebook is one of the favorite applications that I use.
I like the Around Me.
Big fan of like grilling. Weber's got an awesome app out there with all these recipes, all kinds of stuff for the summer.
Coolest app I have.
Go and say it.
Which one?
That one you did to your dad.
Oh, the iFart.
There's an app that turns your phone into a carpenter's level, an app that can name any song, an app that finds taxis anywhere, gives instant radar weather at your doorstep, lets you repaint a room without lifting a brush, turns your voice into just about anything. There's even an app that can find you medical marijuana.
For sports scores, games, eBay, Yahoo, Messenger. So it's both ones that I use for practical purposes and a lot of fun ones.
According to Gravity Tank, an innovation consulting firm, 50% of smartphone users view apps as essential tools for helping them get and stay organized. And it gets even more interesting. 35% of users say apps have literally changed their lives.
On average, people tell us they use their app phones about 30 times a day. We started this study as app believers, and I think we walked away with an even stronger belief in the potential of apps and how they were getting incorporated into people's lives.
We've grown so accustomed to them that for some, it may feel like apps have been around forever. It's hard to believe it was just June of 2007 that they made their big splash as one feature of a new phenomenon called the Apple iPhone.
Okay, Jim, I'm told it's going to set us back 500 clams. What is it, and what's it going to do for that kind of money?
You know, Brian, this is what everybody is talking about, the iPhone from Apple.
It's obvious from the get-go that Apple has a hit on its hands. Tens of thousands of people wait in line for hours to buy the $500 phone.
People waiting in the hot California sun to get their hands on one. This scene has been repeated across the country as Apple and AT&T stores have been mobbed, all of them opening up at 6 o'clock local time.
The iPhone is less cell phone than mini computer. It can shrink and enlarge text. It has email access and can find the time, date, and weather in cities all over the world. The app trend starts small. There are only 11 apps in the first iPhone, and all of them, including a calculator, a camera, stock market report, and a calendar, are easily accessible.
I remember going places and people would see me using it. They're like, is it as cool as everyone says? And I'd say, this is the single greatest piece of technology ever.
Apple signs an exclusive deal with AT&T. The move has its supporters and critics. But even with the one-carrier restriction and the $500 price tag, Apple sells 1 million units in the first 74 days. Apps are a large part of the draw, but the numbers and kinds of apps are limited, and Apple's new consumers want more.
Once the iPhone was introduced, Apple did not have any way for anyone except people inside Apple to create native applications for the iPhone.
Apple opens the door for outside developers to create apps.
A lot of people created some really fantastic stuff, and I think that partially convinced Apple to find a way to let people do this.
Then Apple creates a unique way for consumers to purchase their apps, the App Store.
I think what Apple has created with the App Store is a miraculous system. Never before have we seen software distribution done this quickly and easily, particularly in mobile, where it's been an extremely difficult process.
On its first day of business, the store has approximately 500 apps available, including favorites like Facebook, MySpace, eBay, and Super Monkey Ball. Those 500 apps are downloaded 10 million times in the first 3 days. By the end of the second month, there are 3,000 apps, and some financial analysts predict that the App Store could grow to be more than a $1.2 billion market within a year. Developers rush to get a piece of the app pie. A garbage man comes up with an app that encourages people to share their problems with each other. Kids come up with an app that tests math skills. A biology professor creates an app that shows a cadaver being dissected. Developers are making it big. The app Trism makes its developer $225,000 the first 2 months. Ethan Nicholas makes $600,000 in a single month with his app, iShoot. Partners Darren Marshall and Phil Tadros are two of the new app entrepreneurs who want to get in on the phenomenon with a budget management tool called TextHog.
So TextHog was an idea that came about when my partner Phil, he owns several retail locations, brick and mortar shops in Chicago. He had a problem keeping track with his expenses.
TextHog is a concept that could solve the problem. It allows people to immediately record their expenses right then and there by texting them to their TextHog account.
You go and you create your account online. We generate a unique email address, and you add that email address to your contacts in your cell phone. So if I picked up my dry cleaning, it was $12, I would send a text message to TextHog with dry cleaning, $12, and it would get automatically tracked in your TextHog account. So if I'm, in Bangkok and I need to track my expenses, I log on to texthog.com, enter my account information, and I get overviews of, my daily, weekly, monthly spending.
They have some success with an earlier online version, but hope an app will increase profits and help promote their brand even more.
With the millions and millions of people with iPhones, I think that's our best chance at, getting in.
With a limited budget, the team needs to develop the app and submit it to Apple. They have 12 weeks to do it before their funds run out. If approved, the TextHog app could be in the App Store in 3 months.
I think for this app specifically, we're going to have, a few major milestones. There's going to be our, design and our design review to make sure that it's up to standards of, the things we produce. And we'll, have our submission day and hopefully our, launch party. I think the party is going to be the biggest milestone for us.
Coming up next, why is Greg Grunberg of the NBC show Heroes getting in on the app game? And later, how did an app make a company lose $500,000?
One more, right away. Second, when we cut, the escalator's going to stop, so you'll feel like a little jolt.
Usually, actors quit their day jobs when they get a paying gig. Not Greg Grunberg.
Hey, Mark. Action!
Even though he's found success on NBC's popular show Heroes, Grunberg is still working a second job.
Cut it!
Attention Kmart shoppers. If you have an iPhone, download Yowza now.
Grunberg co-creates a mobile coupon app called Yowza that gives shoppers a new way to get discounts.
I save money with Yowza.
He has to say that.
Where did the idea for Yowza come from?
Honestly, my whole life I've sort of been raised to be frugal. So, I'm holding on to two of my boys. Elizabeth, my wife, has our third. We're walking into Bed Bath & Beyond. We forgot the coupon in the car. I was too lazy to go back to my car to get it. And I thought, why isn't it on my phone? And so that's really where it started.
Working with a developer and a designer, Greg creates the app and gets it onto the App Store.
Well, what happens when you walk into a store? I mean, how does this work?
Well, you do your shopping. Okay, so now I've done my shopping. And now when I'm ready to check out, it's literally this simple. So I turn my phone on, I hit Yowza. It's right now finding my location, and it brings up all the stores and restaurants around me. I push on Pier 1 Imports, gives me a list from closest to farthest away, so it's a search tool. And now I'm here, on Hollywood Boulevard, and I find the deals.
So it knows where you are?
Knows where you are, and it brings up the deals.